What's up, guys? So, this is going to be a TOTD, thought of the day, or basically thought of the night. Of course, I don't have the curtains open, but it's actually nighttime. But, it's a thought of the day in QOTD, so question of the day. And honestly, I've been thinking about this for a while. And this is something I hope that a lot of service members, specifically Air Force airmen, sergeants, whoever, basic, everyone in the military. Um, and the thing is that with the Air Force, we have three main core values. And of course, I'm going to kind of be doing this backwards, which is not normal to do, but I just feel like this would be a good start to kind of usher in the talk of core values, or uh, in fact impactful words that have a very vague, broad, but very specific meanings at the same time. Um, and the Air Force core values are actually integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And of course, I'm going to be talking about excellence in all we do, specifically just excellence. But then again, well, I want to say definition, but the sentence structure of excellence in all we do creates the broad spectrum of what excellence is. Excellence doesn't specifically nail into one particular career field or one particular task or anything such as that. It's more so a broad use, much like with the other two as well. But when it comes to excellence, there's this thing where people always talk about perfection, and we always talk about being imperfectly perfect or perfectly imperfect, vice versa. Anything that has to do with perfection and how it can impact someone, whether it be negative or positive. And that's where perfection kind of gets watered down to a very mixed view of how society views perfection itself. The one thing is that for me, in my personal belief, perfection is a very unattainable goal. Um, as a Christian, perfection is something of the Christ Jesus and God Himself and the Holy Spirit. That'll be a completely different talk, though, different discussion. But that's just my point of view on it. But you can always strive for it. That's something that people don't really tend to focus on, is that you can still strive for it, even though it's highly unobtainable. Much like dreams, there will be certain dreams that you have, and they'll remain unobtainable. But you have hobbies and the love of wanting to try and do more in something that you wholeheartedly just fall in love with. But before striving for perfection, I believe you should strive for excellence first. It sets a very good baseline of foundational goals. It's fundamentally just something that it's like a variable that needs to be, or it needs to be a constant rather than a variable that needs to be set in place. The variable is, of course, you actually, dependent on whether you want to add in that constant use of excellence or whether you don't, which I believe is something that you would create perfection out of imperfection. That was actually not in my notes. I have my notes up here, to be honest. But so yeah, when you're striving for excellence, you don't have that definition of making no mistake, which is what perfection is. So with excellence, you don't have a negative a negative constant within its definition. For example, when we take Air Force PT scores, you can be, I don't know what the lowest score is. I probably should have known that. I believe it's 70 though, 70 points out of 100. And then you could go, that's where you at least have the average baseline to, I guess, I don't know, get an LOR, letter of reprimand, or LOC, which is a letter of counseling. And then I think there's a LOA, which I think is a letter of accountability or something. Might be something else. I don't recall exactly. Never had to have those, so we're good. But so when, of course, there are also other ones that are LORs, LOAs, and LOCs that are also good. I don't know why we do it that way, but I mean, double meaning. So with an excellent score, it's between 90 and 100. And when you get that score of between those two numbers, you get the I guess you get it circled in that it's you got excellence between an average between 90 and 100. And that just goes to show that with excellence, you have that feeling of leniency. Now, of course, we have a no tolerance policy with the Air Force, when it comes to leniencies and stuff like that on other spectrums or other aspects of itself. And hopefully within your lifestyle, you don't have heavily negative leniencies that'll negatively impact other aspects of your life. But the thing is that as humans, we all know that we need slight leniencies, or we become too rigid and break down. What is it? We break more when we are more rigid and a little too inhuman. That's just how, especially with society today, that's just how we are. We have to be very lenient with one another. And of course, in this video, I'm kind of rambling, gonna go from one thing to another and kind of go off course every now and then. And sometimes things I say will not exactly correlate, but so that's why I kind of had the notes up here. So I'm gonna try and stay on course. But of course, I tend to go all over the place. But yeah, so when you have excellence, you can still make a few mistakes. For me, that's going to be, for example, the PT run. It's going to be really hard to get a perfect score for me, although I have gotten better at that. And of course, that's because I'm striving for excellence. I work out a lot, starting to add more, I guess, cardiovascular workout stuff, but going on more runs such as that. Just in general, if I am not doing the best at one particular area, I'm going to actually put more of my time into that specific area and become excellent within that area, and then it'll spread to my other things where it'll improve my vascularity or my cardio or endurance to do more push-ups, do more sit-ups, have a better swim. Everything else just becomes a little bit easier because you add in that excellence to one particular field, and then it just spreads out to your other aspects. And then you also have Air Force expert marksmanship. I'm sure there are people who have definitely shot 24 out of 24 with the M4 at the rifle range during basic military training. But you can make 2 mistakes still and still get expert marksmanship. I'm usually I'm not trying to use synonyms when it comes to excellence, but for example, I just want to use this one as an example because EX and EX. But so that kind of goes to show that although you miss 2, although it's a very high accomplishment to even get expert marksmanship. I only got 17 out of 24, sadly. But to get expert marksmanship is having that focus and determination and that want and the feel of needing to make that accolade. And of course that's encompassing, or I don't know why I'm saying encompassing. Anyways, that is the amalgamation. I don't know. Anyways, I guess I'll just say formulating a formula or creating the formula of adding all these little things, these details, minute details that allow you to be excellent. And of course, that's going to be a whole nother topic, of course, if I ever do touch on that anymore. I could go on forever talking about these things. But that just goes to show that excellence is a high achievement, but it's a very obtainable achievement. And I believe everyone can achieve excellence within their life and within their lifestyles, no matter what lifestyle that is. Hopefully they're all positive. The excellence that you produce is of positive impact within yourself and towards others. And another thing I want to say is, or a question I want to add in is, do you perform with excellence or mediocrity? Now, mediocrity, it's more so just like saying you're just there to do the work. And honestly, I kind of feel like that in a way when I do my Walmart job as well. I'm just there to do the work, but I do try and help other people out. I think it's more so just a running joke when you say I just work here. It's kind of true, but when I say that, I say that with a slight sarcastic meaning because yeah, I just work here, but I'm still going to perform as much as I can to relieve my coworkers of any stress that they may have at work, and I'm going to pick up whatever they're missing within that within work that day. For Walmart, I am a part of this. I'm a part of the truck crew. Only a few people. Well, anyways, that's where you start having a sorter, and then you have people on the sides that sort out things onto pallets, whether it be from chemicals to doing an animal pallet full of food, like animal food, of course. And then you have grocery items, and they're also on their specific station Padlets. Then you have stationary stuff and all this other stuff. Usually you have 3 to 4 people working those lines in specific sections. And if your section isn't like you don't have anything or much to sort at your section, then you start helping out the one who actually is starting to get a very massive amount of cargo put onto their lines. And that's where you would implement excellence, is that you're not working for just yourself, but for others. And if you don't work for others, then no, if you're not trying to work for yourself, first of all, you should focus on working for yourself. You need to focus on yourself prior to others. In a way, I'm implementing service for yourself. Well, anyways, so you need to focus on yourself in terms of doing the service that you need to do first, and then you can help someone else out. And of course, that's going to be a whole nother conversation. But just to repeat the question, I am going to leave you guys with the question of whether you perform with excellence or mediocrity, as in doing average. But then again, and I don't, this is where leniency is kind of like, it's okay to do average because you're just there to do your work. But someone who wants to make a positive impact is going to try and perform, is going to perform with excellence or strive for excellence. And I feel like, honestly, within today's society, that's something that we tend to lack and something we tend to really focus on with one another. And I am very blessed and thankful for the Air Force in that sense, to make sure that they put in place the necessity of excellence within yourself and to strive to work and to love what you're doing. And on top of that, you have the other 2 core values as well, which impact your lifestyle in a very major positive way. And yeah, honestly, there's so much I could just talk about it. That's why I would love to do a podcast. But yeah, I'm actually going to put this on my YouTube channel. And yeah, so hopefully those of you who are coming from my Instagram, which I know I have a good few of airmen and sergeants and retired airmen and sergeants and officers, a lot of service members actually. I hope you guys could implement your thoughts and feelings about what excellence is to you, and just how it's impacted you. Even people in general. It's excellence doesn't just have to be something military related. It's something that I feel like you can obtain at a very young age. It just depends on maturity. Of course, everyone matures differently, different levels, different times. And yeah, but anyways, before I ramble on, just wanted to end off with that. To everyone who actually stayed to hear me talk, say a lot, and just basically chop up my sentences here left and right, thank you. But yeah, so hope you guys all have a lovely day, much love. That's not what I do. I think I always do this. Much love and peace.